Gloria Wilson, 58, from Queens, New York was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 1996 when she was 38 years old. She was diagnosed again in 2002, at the age of 44. Today, Gloria is breast cancer-free. Her daughter, Anna Wilson, now 30, was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014 at 28, and in July 2016, she was diagnosed with a metastasis in her lung. Here, they talk about what it's like to watch a family member go through cancer. Gloria: when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer at 38 years old, I had already been doing mammograms regularly for 4 years. I demanded my doctors start them very early, since my mom, my 2 sisters, and 2 of my aunts all died of breast cancer. The lump I found on my chest seemed small. The doctor said it was a fibroid. But after a year, I didn't like the way it was growing and we decided to remove it. When the doctors took it out, it was grayish and clammy. It was breast cancer. When I found out, I remember praying to God to allow me to raise my daughter. I was scared because I didn't want to leave Anna too young. She was 8. But I was really open with her. I used to give myself white cell injections in front of her, until my sister confided in me that it bothered Anna and I should hide it. Anna: I understood my mom was sick and the medication would make her lose her hair and kill all of her good cells. But I didn't know the extent of cancer. I don't really remember if I was sad or afraid. I just remembered trying to be close to her. I would brush her wigs and make sure they looked nice for work. Gloria: I felt if I did the best I could with my body, I could fight the sickness. I would drink any juice, I would exercise. To cope, I prayed a lot and found moments where I could be alone. I used to go the park really early to run, and I used that moment to talk to God. I did any race I could find, Race for the Cure, corporate challenges. In 1997, I finished chemo and radiation. By 1998, both my mom and one of my sisters had passed away from breast cancer. Around that time, I found out I was a candidate for a BRCA, breast cancer susceptibility gene, study to find out if I had the gene mutations that increased my odds of breast cancer. It came out positive for BRCA1. Then, in 2002, when I was 44, I was diagnosed with breast cancer again. It was smaller than the last time because we removed it really early. It took a while to pick myself up after that. Afterwards, my doctor kept asking if my daughter was having her kids early and taking off her breasts. I didn't want to hear it. So I saw another doctor. Anna: I was 14 the second time. I just tried to be strong and positive and help out more around home. I was more nervous this time because by then both my aunt and grandmother had passed away from breast cancer. I hadn't seen survivors. I was very worried but didn't want my mom to know, so I hid it from her. I just tried not to think about it and stayed occupied. I was involved in a dance group, which kept my mind off of it. I understood my mom was sick and the medication would make her lose her hair and kill all of her good cells. Gloria: that dance group was a big outlet that brought both of us distraction and entertainment. I put my all into that to distress. Anna: my mom was getting so involved that the team convinced her to join. We've been dancing together ever since. Gloria: dance was an outlet for me, because at that point I wasn't running as much. I couldn't. I was just so tired and out of breath. I was so slow, so I figured why bother. I thought it was because I was eating wrong. But I didn't know what was really happening. My heart was failing. It wasn't until the end of 2009 that my doctor figured out that my heart was 3 times its normal size. I had already been seeing a heart doctor, but they didn't realize it was that bad. I moved to a new hospital, where they ran tests on my heart and said the results were a lot different than what the first hospital had on file. And they told me that the doses of my chemotherapy medication, adriamycin, were to blame. They were too high that second time around, and it damaged my heart. My doctor should have given me smaller doses. I was in the ICU and they didn't know if I was going to come back. My husband was furious with my doctor. He wanted to sue. I was just thinking she did the best she could to save my life. She didn't want the cancer to come back. In January 2010, I went on the list for a heart transplant. I went on an LVAD machine that pumped my blood for me at the end of March. That same year, in August, I got a new heart. I was really lucky. There are some people who stay on LVAD for 2 years. Anna, when my mom first realized there was something wrong with her heart, I was going away to college. It wasn't until a few years after I graduated that we found out she had congestive heart failure. I helped take care of her this time. With the LVAD, there's a lot of maintenance. I took the reins and helped my mom clean the pump and make sure it was running. I looked at it like this was just temporary. She has to go through this step until she can get a new heart. Around 2008, I had started feeling lumps in my breast. I didn't have insurance at that time, so I found a hospital in Harlem that provided free breast care for Black and Hispanic women. I got sonograms and mammograms for free. The lumps were all benign fibroids. In the summer of 2009, NYU Langone got in touch because they were doing a study on women with a strong family history of breast cancer and offering free BRCA testing and counseling. So I got the tests. I knew my mom tested positive for BRCA1, but I was hoping that it didn't pass down to me. My mom's older sister deals with fibroids that aren't cancerous, and I was hoping I would be blessed not to deal with cancer. But the test came back positive for BRCA1. I got counseling, primarily over the phone. They told me my options, but none of them sounded good. I was 23 years old, and still single. I didn't have any children, but I was told I should start taking tamoxifen, an estrogen-blocking drug, and couldn't pursue having kids while I was on it. I was also told to remove my breasts, but at 23 it seemed like a bit much. It felt like these were really drastic measures. Gloria, I could not support Anna taking off her breasts that early in her life. She wasn't even dating. I just figured as long as she does her screening, we would catch it. Anna, I thought that if I changed my habits, ate better, I might be able to bypass cancer. So I just kept feeling for lumps through self-checkups. 3 times on both breasts I went in and got sonograms, mammograms, and biopsies, which always came back benign. Then, in 2014, I found a bigger lump. Before, they were always pretty small, but this was substantially bigger. A biopsy confirmed I was positive for stage 2 breast cancer. I was devastated. I was 28, which is pretty young compared to my mom and my grandmother, who were in their mid to late 30s when they were first diagnosed with breast cancer. Gloria, I couldn't believe it. I kept asking myself what went wrong. What did we do wrong? How could this have happened? I felt guilty. I just had to keep snapping myself out of it. Around 2008, I had started feeling lumps in my breast. Anna, initially, I was bawling. But right after I got through that, I thought, I'll do what I have to do. I thought if I had a strong resolve, it would be easier on my parents. So I got a bilateral mastectomy even though they only found cancer in the right breast. Then I froze my eggs. That was the hardest part. It took 3 weeks and I felt really rushed because I had to get it done before I could start treatment for my cancer. I had to inject myself with hormones every day, and I was getting sonograms. It took a toll because I just wanted to get it over with. Once it was done, I had chemo and radiation between December 2014 and June 2015. Then, around May 2016, I started having issues with my breathing. I wasn't sure what was going on. Because I became severely anemic from chemo the first time, I got a blood transfusion to get my hemoglobin levels up, and my breathing got better. But my doctor also ordered a bunch of tests, including a chest X-ray. Something came back suspicious, so I got a CT scan and then a lung biopsy. I got the results back this July. The treatment I had didn't get this small piece of my breast cancer, which hid and grew and moved to the lung. I was really angry. I felt like I did everything the doctors asked of me and it still wasn't enough. It's hard to be in that position, because you feel you're being used as a guinea pig. I'm down for helping researchers, but I took off my breast at 28, went through chemo and radiation. I felt like I was done with it, but it's back again so soon. I went on oral chemo. Recently, I went in for a CAT scan, and the tumor in my lung has gotten larger compared to the scan in July. We're in the process of figuring out what my new treatment will be. I'm trying to be more positive and pray a lot more. I'm getting a lot of support from family and friends. I've completely changed my diet, going vegan. I'm hoping that will help me. I'm trying to listen to what doctors are saying, but I'm not only looking at Western cures. I do my own research to try and holistically heal myself. I'm trying to figure out what fits best for me, but it's overwhelming. Gloria, this time, I'm trying to have a stronger faith and pray more. And I'm not just praying to pray but really believing in it. But I haven't told a lot of family and friends this time around. Anna, right now I'm still trying to figure out my life. I feel most women my age don't have to deal with this. They deal with what they're going to wear for their next date, whether this guy is the one, whether they should get married or start a family. But I'm single and I can't even think about that now. Most of my life I wanted to be a mom, but it doesn't look like that's a part of my future. So I'm just trying to figure out what my future is, what purpose I'm here to fulfill. For people who have received a cancer diagnosis, I would say stay positive. It's not a death sentence. Gloria, definitely. Stay positive. Anna, you'll have moments when you're down. Give yourself that moment, but don't let the moments overpower you. Do whatever it takes to get out of that funk right away. For me it was prayer, staying active, meeting up with friends. My mom and I still dance. Since we're from Panama, we do cultural dancing. We rehearse every Saturday and perform at private events, cultural events, and at museums and festivals. I think it's healthy to talk about cancer. My mom has always been vocal and open about her experience, which has helped me. Check if the hospital where you're getting treated has support groups for survivors and family members. Or if you don't want to talk, write in a journal. But find some outlet to get your emotions out. Gloria, I got that openness from my mom. She lived with cancer, too, and she was really strong. If someone asked why she was bald, she would tell them exactly why. When people keep their cancer a secret, they don't realize how much they can help other people by talking. When Anna went bald, she posted a photo of herself on Instagram. Months later, a stranger posted a comment. She said she was going through cancer, and she got strength from how Anna was dealing with it. It took her out of her depression. Anna has really shocked us with how strong she is. She's handling it so well. The family has found comfort and strength from her. I'm trying to be more positive and pray a lot more. Anna, having cancer has definitely shown me how strong I really am. If I can handle this, I can handle anything. Can't and shouldn't should not be in my vocabulary. Gloria, I would tell the family and friends of people suffering from cancer to be as supportive and positive as you can. That positive energy builds the patient and their immediate family up. Surviving cancer changed me and how I treat people. Now I'm trying to do good most of the time, even if I'm not always successful. Because life is short. About 246,660 new cases of invasive breast cancer are diagnosed in American women every year, with about 1 in 8 women developing breast cancer in her lifetime. Only about 5 to 10% of breast cancer cases are hereditary, meaning that they result directly from gene defects, called mutations, passed on from a parent, according to the American Cancer Society. To donate your time or money to working toward a cure, check out the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the National Breast Cancer Foundation, or the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.